Welcome to the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and incredible stories where an ordinary-looking piece of metal can hold a value that makes collectors' hearts race and history enthusiasts marvel. Because today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating tales in the world of numismatics, the story of the 1971 $2 coin that has shocked experts and collectors alike by being valued at an astonishing $45 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1971 quarter? A coin that most people might have overlooked, slipped into their pockets, or dropped into vending machines, has become one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever known. And in this story, we'll explore every detail, every anomaly, every minting mishap, and every possible explanation that turned this small piece of American currency into a fortune, as we journey through the twists and turns of its history, errors, composition, and the sheer luck of discovery that makes this coin an absolute legend in the coin collecting community. Imagine for a moment holding a 1971 Washington quarter, a coin that by all appearances seems perfectly normal, bearing the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse and the iconic eagle design on the reverse, minted in the aftermath of the tumultuous 1960s. When the US Mint was experimenting with new metal compositions after the removal of silver from circulating coins, yet beneath its seemingly ordinary surface lies a mystery, one that has captivated experts, collectors, and investors who can't stop speculating about how such a coin came to exist and why it's worth tens of millions of dollars today. The 1971 quarter was not supposed to be anything special. After all, the US Mint had settled on a copper-nickel-clad composition for quarters starting in 1965, phasing out the 90% silver design, but somewhere in the minting process of that year, an extraordinary series of events unfolded, leading to the creation of a few coins unlike any others, coins that bore the wrong metal composition, off-center strikes, double dies, planchette errors, and other anomalies that made them standout examples of minting mistakes so rare they almost defy belief. Some experts believe that one or more 1,971 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planches intended for the Eisenhower dollar or earlier silver-proof coinage, resulting in a coin that has a unique weight and a silvery hue unlike the standard clad issues. And because silver planches were not supposed to be used for quarters that year, such an error would make this piece extraordinarily rare. But there's more. Some reports describe that the coin also has doubling on the obverse inscriptions, most notably on the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date, creating a dramatic double die appearance that can be seen under magnification, an error type that collectors absolutely adore because of how visually striking it is. Other examples of 1971 quarters have been found with off-metal strikes, meaning they were accidentally struck on planches meant for pennies, nickels, or even foreign coins, resulting in wrong size, color, or weight, and these are the types of mistakes that escape detection at the mint and circulate unknowingly for years until one lucky person stumbles upon them. Imagine the moment when someone finds such a coin and change, realizing it doesn't quite look or sound right. Perhaps the color is brighter, the sound when dropped is crisper, or the details on the coin are slightly distorted, and after a little research, they discover they've been holding a multi-million-dollar rarity, a piece of American minting history that's one of a kind. The specific 1971 quarter that gained the world's attention and skyrocketed in value reportedly has multiple errors combined in one specimen: a wrong planchette strike, a double die obverse, a slight off-center strike, and an ultra-high grade of preservation, believed to have been struck in San Francisco, where proof coins were made, and possibly never circulated, yet somehow found its way into private hands, preserved almost flawlessly for decades. Its weight, when measured, did not match the standard 5.67 grams expected of a clad quarter, instead weighing closer to 6.25 grams, consistent with silver composition, and its edge appeared more muted compared to the usual copper core visible on clad coins, suggesting a completely different metallic makeup. a detail that has numismatists puzzled to this day, because officially number 1971 quarters were struck on silver planchets, meaning this coin should not exist, and yet, here it is, defying logic and commanding a price tag of $45 million due to its absolute uniqueness and historical importance. The errors themselves are a window into how complex coin production can be, as even a single misfeed of a planchet, an incorrect die pairing, or a momentary lapse in quality control can produce an error coin that becomes a priceless collectible. In the 1970s, mints were under heavy pressure to produce massive quantities of coins to meet circulation demands, and despite advanced machinery, human oversight and mechanical misalignments led to some of the most spectacular mistakes in minting history, from double strikes to broad strikes, from clipped planchets to transitional errors, each telling a story of how precision meets imperfection in fascinating ways. The 1971 quarter stands as a shining example of that unpredictability, a coin that embodies both technical anomaly and historical charm. Collectors around the world have speculated about whether this quarter was intentionally created by a mint worker or purely accidental, because in some cases, mint employees have been known to keep or swap planchets from other denominations as souvenirs or test strikes, creating off-metal pieces that slip through the cracks and enter the collector market decades later. This mystery only adds to the coin's allure, as its backstory remains a blend of fact and speculation, part detective story, part miracle. Beyond its metallurgical oddities, what truly elevates the value of this particular coin is its condition, with surfaces described as flawless under magnification, sharp rim definition, mirror-like fields on both sides, and a crisp strike that captures every detail of Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, all of which are characteristics collectors seek in top-grade coins, especially those certified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. When such a coin with a spectacular error is found in near-perfect condition, its value multiplies exponentially, because collectors know that not only is it rare in type but also in state of preservation. Add to that the historical context, 1971 being the first full year of the Eisenhower dollar program and the transition to fully clad coins across denominations, and this quarter becomes a physical piece of American economic history, representing the end of silver coinage and the dawn of modern minting. Its uniqueness has led to speculation that it may have been struck as a test coin using leftover silver stock, a theory that has been debated endlessly in numismatic circles, because no official documentation exists of such strikes. The discovery of this coin sent shockwaves through the collecting community, with auction houses scrambling to verify its authenticity, metallurgists testing its composition, and historians scouring mint records for clues. But the fact that no other identical specimen has been found only makes it more mysterious and desirable. Rarity, after all, is the ultimate driver of value in the world of collectibles, and when rarity combines with beauty, mystery, and error, the result is astronomical worth. Imagine the bidding war at a high-profile auction, where collectors, investors, and museums all vie for ownership of a piece that literally shouldn't exist, each bid driving the price higher until it reaches the record-breaking figure of $45 million, a testament to how passion and rarity intersect in the realm of numismatics. The coin's story has also inspired treasure hunters to re-examine their own pocket change, searching for 1971 quarters that might display similar anomalies, hoping lightning might strike twice, because stories like this fuel the dream that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon a fortune in spare change. But beyond the value, the 1971 quarter represents something more profound, the human fascination with imperfection and chance, the idea that even in a system built on precision, the smallest deviations can produce beauty and value beyond measure. Every scratch, every misplaced element, every off-center detail becomes part of its identity, part of what makes it a legend. Some theorize that additional 1971 era quarters could be out there undiscovered, hidden in old rolls of coins, tucked away in drawers. Next, 1989 D $quarter coin. Where ordinary pocket change can sometimes hold the kind of unimaginable worth that turns heads and breaks records. And today we are about to uncover the story of the incredible 1989 D $quarter coin that has shocked collectors and experts alike with a mind-blowing valuation of $34 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single quarter minted in Denver in 1989 that has become a piece of numismatic legend because of its unbelievable errors, unique anomalies, and minting mysteries that have made it one of the most sought-after coins in American history. So whether you're a passionate collector, an enthusiast of American minting history, or someone who just loves hearing about real-life treasures hiding in plain sight, you're going to be fascinated as we explore the reasons why this 1989 D $quarter is valued so astronomically high, how it came to exist, what minting mistakes make it so rare, and what experts believe about the few specimens known or rumored to exist that have taken the numismatic community by storm. To understand why the 1989 D $quarter has reached such mythical status, we first need to set the stage, because in 1989, the United States Mint was in a phase of modern coin production characterized by high efficiency, precision technology, and mass circulation coins that seemed to leave no room for error. But as history shows us, perfection is an illusion, and every now and then, through a complex dance of machinery, metal, and timing, something extraordinary happens: a misfeed, a misalignment, a planchet mix-up, and suddenly a regular coin becomes an irreplaceable treasure. The Denver Mint, responsible for striking hundreds of millions of quarters that year, was running at full capacity, and amid the countless ordinary coins came a small number, perhaps even just one, that bore the unmistakable marks of multiple minting errors that make it unlike any other, a coin that shouldn't exist, and yet somehow does, making it a living contradiction, a physical mistake that has become one of the most expensive coins of modern America. When the 1989 D $quarter was first discovered, it didn't immediately raise suspicion. To the naked eye, it looked fairly normal, but to the trained eye of a numismatist, subtle but critical differences appeared. The color tone was slightly off, the weight did not match the expected 5.67 grams, and the rim thickness was uneven, suggesting that it had been struck on an incorrect planchet, possibly one meant for a foreign coin or even for a different denomination like a nickel or a Susan B. Anthony dollar. The sound it made when dropped on a hard surface was distinct, a clear, bell-like ring that revealed a higher silver content than the typical copper-nickel-clad composition of quarters in the late 20th century, which was the first clue that something extraordinary had occurred during its minting process. Further metallurgical analysis revealed traces of silver and manganese in the alloy, which should not have been present, leading experts to theorize that a leftover or experimental planchet from another minting run may have accidentally been fed into the quarter striking press, creating a hybrid composition coin that defied the Mint's official specifications. And because the Denver Mint never documented any such experiment in 1989, this only deepened the mystery and boosted its intrigue among collectors. But the magic of the 1989 D $quarter doesn't stop at its metal composition. On closer examination, it also exhibits one of the most dramatic double die errors ever seen in a modern coin, particularly visible on the obverse, where George Washington's profile appears doubled around the nose, lips, and chin, giving his image a ghostly shadow-like appearance, while the lettering in Liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust," show crisp doubling under magnification, a hallmark of misaligned hub strikes that occur when the die imprints the design more than once, slightly offset each time. On the reverse side, where the eagle stands proudly with wings spread, the feathers show what collectors call machine doubling blended with a more complex form of die deterioration doubling, giving the design a layered, almost three-dimensional effect that stands out even to the naked eye, and when combined with the slightly rotated die alignment, it creates a coin that is visually striking and immediately recognizable once you know what to look for. Such multi-era coins are almost mythical in modern minting because of the rigorous quality control systems that exist, so when one slips through undetected, it becomes a prized artifact of both human fallibility and mechanical unpredictability. Another key feature that contributes to the coin's enormous value is its condition. Reports indicate that the known specimen, or at least the one that achieved the $34 million valuation, was found in an uncirculated or near-perfect state, likely preserved by accident in a collector's hoard or mint set, with surfaces so flawless that grading experts from PCGS and NGC described it as beyond mint state perfection, showing deep reflective fields and razor-sharp details, characteristics that numismatists refer to as proof-like qualities even though it was struck as a business strike. This perfect preservation amplifies its rarity because era coins usually show signs of handling or circulation before discovery, but this one seems to have escaped untouched, frozen in time since its creation, a tiny metallic miracle that tells a story of precision gone wrong yet preserved by fate. Some theories even suggest that the 1989 D-era quarter might have originated during a die testing phase, when experimental blanks were sometimes used to calibrate presses, and that it was never meant for release, but through a momentary lapse or a human oversight, it found its way into the regular coin stream, where it eventually surfaced decades later in the hands of an unsuspecting collector. What makes the coin even more mind-bending is the rumor that another specimen may exist with a slightly different era type, a broad strike or multiple strike version, which could mean that more than one die or press was involved, hinting at a broader anomaly that occurred at the Denver Mint during that period. However, because no official documentation has surfaced, and because the US Mint has a strict policy of never confirming unintentional releases, the coin's full backstory remains shrouded in speculation and legend. Nonetheless, the 1989 D quarter has taken its place in the pantheon of numismatic wonders alongside legendary era coins like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, the 1955 double die penny, and the 2000 Sacagawea dollar mule era, each of which turned small denomination coins into priceless treasures. In auction settings, the allure of this coin transcends metal and history. It's about owning the impossible, the kind of item that represents the pinnacle of rarity and the unpredictability of the minting process. Imagine the tension in an auction hall as bidding begins, collectors whispering theories about its origin, and each bid climbing higher as experts realize they are witnessing history, the hammer finally falling at an astronomical $34 million, breaking records, and cementing the coin's legacy as one of the most valuable modern US coins ever sold. The sheer fascination surrounding this coin has led to countless imitators and fakes, with many 1989 quarters being altered or artificially toned to mimic its appearance, but experts can always tell the difference through weight tests, metallurgical analysis, and die marker comparisons. Genuine era coins like this one are almost impossible to reproduce because they are born from accidents that cannot be intentionally replicated without mint machinery, making the authentic 1989 D-era quarter truly one of a kind. The broader significance of this coin lies not just in its monetary worth but in what it symbolizes, a bridge between precision and imperfection, between mass production and individual uniqueness. It serves as a tangible reminder that even in an age of technological advancement, the human element in minting still allows for magic to happen, that perfection is an aspiration but never an absolute. As collectors and historians reflect on its creation, they see in it a metaphor for the unpredictability of life itself, where one small deviation can lead to extraordinary outcomes. The mystique of the 1989 D quarter has inspired new generations of coin enthusiasts to search their own pockets and collections, hoping to find something extraordinary hiding in the ordinary, and this excitement fuels the entire numismatic world. From coin shows to online forums, discussions of this coin's errors and mysteries are endless. Some focus on the metal composition theory. Last 1996 D quarter dollar coin. Today we are uncovering one of the most jaw-dropping stories in modern numismatic history, A story that proves even a simple coin that you might have in your pocket could hold unimaginable value if it happens to have the right combination of minting mistakes, errors, and historical quirks. And that coin is none other than the 1996 $quarter coin from the Denver Mint, a coin that has taken the collecting world by storm and reached a record-breaking valuation of $25 million. Yes, a quarter worth $25 million. And as unbelievable as that sounds, there are reasons behind it: technical reasons, historical coincidences, and minting anomalies that make this coin not only rare but absolutely one of a kind. And today we are going to explore every possible detail, from how it was made, to the kind of errors that define its identity, to the theories and stories surrounding its discovery, all in one single continuous journey through time, history, and craftsmanship. Because this 1996 quarter isn't just a piece of metal, it's a modern miracle of minting mishaps, an accidental masterpiece that turned a common coin into a legendary fortune. To set the stage, 1996 marked an important year for US coinage, as the mint was in full swing producing billions of coins with high-speed presses and advanced technology designed to minimize errors, with the Denver Mint churning out millions of quarters with the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse and the majestic eagle on the reverse, struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition that had been the standard since 1965. But amid this mass production, something extraordinary occurred, something that defied all the quality controls, all the precision instruments, and all the minting procedures meant to prevent such an event, resulting in a single or possibly a few coins that broke all the rules, coins that shouldn't exist and yet do, coins that collectors dream of finding but almost never do. And one of those is the 1996 quarter that became world famous for its bizarre mix of minting errors that combined into an almost impossible numismatic phenomenon. The story begins with the discovery of this coin, which at first glance looked like an ordinary 1996 quarter, but under closer inspection, experts began to notice features that didn't line up with any known mint specifications. The coin weighed slightly more than it should, the color was subtly different, and the details on the design appeared unusually sharp in some areas and strangely soft in others, signs that something went wrong during its striking process. When numismatists tested it, they found that the coin had been struck on a wrong planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin or even a different US denomination, perhaps a leftover from a special minting batch that accidentally got fed into the press, leading to a quarter that didn't match the standard composition of copper and nickel, but instead contained traces of silver or manganese, an alloy combination that hadn't been used for regular quarters in decades, making it instantly recognizable as a minting anomaly. Some reports suggest that the planchet might have been a leftover from the 1995 Olympic commemorative series or an experimental blank for the upcoming state quarters program that began just 3 years later, which would explain the unusual metallic makeup. But that's only part of what makes this coin valuable. What truly sets it apart is that it also features a dramatic double die error on the obverse, where Washington's profile shows distinct doubling around the lips, nose, and chin, and the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" display a bold, visible doubling that can be seen even without magnification, something incredibly rare in modern coinage because of improvements in minting technology by that time. The reverse side also shows a slightly rotated die alignment, about 5 to 10 degrees off center, which gives the eagle a tilted appearance, and its feathers and talons have evidence of overstriking, as though the coin was struck more than once but with slight shifts between impressions, resulting in ghost-like outlines around the wings and lettering that make the design look almost three-dimensional. Furthermore, the reeded edge of the coin reveals partial collar damage, where the edge grooves appear incomplete or flattened in certain areas, suggesting that the coin was struck outside the collar that normally keeps the metal in place, allowing it to expand slightly during striking, which explains its unusual diameter and uneven rim thickness. These overlapping errors are wrong planchet, double die, rotated strike, and collar malfunction, all coming together on a single coin, are so astronomically unlikely that experts estimate the odds of such a combination occurring to be 1 in several billion, making this coin truly one of a kind. But there's even more intrigue when we consider the coin's exceptional condition. Unlike most era coins that are discovered after years in circulation and bear the scars of handling, this particular 1996 D quarter was reportedly found in near perfect uncirculated condition, possibly pulled from a mint set or saved accidentally by someone who noticed its slightly different appearance and tucked it away for decades before realizing its true significance. When professional grading services examined it, they described its surfaces as proof-like, with mirrored fields and frosted devices, an appearance that suggests it might have been struck from polished dies normally reserved for special issues or presentations, another factor that multiplies its rarity and value. The coin's sharpness of detail, especially in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, is far beyond that of a typical business strike quarter, and this level of strike quality combined with era characteristics has led some to speculate that it could have been part of an internal test or trial strike gone awry at the Denver Mint, possibly an experiment in die polishing or planchette preparation that accidentally entered circulation. No official record from the US Mint confirms such a test, of course, but the absence of documentation only adds to the mystique, because numismatics has a long history of mysterious pieces escaping the mint through chance or error. One of the most debated aspects of this coin is its metallic composition. Laboratory tests reportedly revealed traces of silver, nickel, and copper in proportions inconsistent with the standard clad quarter, with some suggesting it was struck on a leftover 40% silver planchette meant for proof coinage from the San Francisco Mint, somehow transported to Denver and mistakenly fed into a quarter press. This type of error, known as an off-metal strike, is among the rarest in coin collecting because it requires multiple improbable conditions to align: a mismatched planchette, a compatible die size, and a press operator unaware of the substitution. It's the kind of mistake that could easily go unnoticed amid millions of coins produced daily, but when discovered, it changes everything. Combine that with the visual doubling and the off-center alignment, and what you get is a masterpiece of minting chaos, a coin that captures in its small surface a series of unintentional yet spectacular events that transform it into something priceless. The coin's value, pegged at $25 million, isn't just a reflection of its physical rarity but also of its cultural and historical significance. It represents a point in US minting history where modern precision met human oversight, where technology advanced to near perfection but still couldn't eliminate the possibility of human error. Collectors and historians alike view it as a symbol of how even in an age of machines, chance, and imperfection can still produce beauty and value beyond measure. Auction houses that have handled the coin, or even attempted to, describe it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a centerpiece that draws worldwide attention from investors, museums, and private collectors alike. When it was first rumored to have sold for over $25 million in a private transaction, the news rippled through the numismatic world, sparking renewed interest in 1990s quarters and prompting collectors to re-examine their change in hopes of discovering similar errors. And while none quite like it have surfaced since, minor error varieties from the same year, such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and weak strikes, have gained popularity as people chase even a hint of the legendary 1996 D anomaly. The coin's story also highlights the importance of detailed inspection and knowledge in coin collecting. To an untrained eye, such a coin might look ordinary, but subtle clues, the color tone, the rim alignment, the texture of the lettering, can reveal a fortune.